Here we go. Round 5, race 2, which is the same as race 11 in the 2011 Formula V New South Wales State Championship.
Okay, starting positions are as finished from race this morning, or yesterday afternoon, I should say. Daniel Reynolds coming from the back of the grid to win that race and the championship. So we'll start from pole. Thomas is made a gap onto Kinsella, catching up to Kinsella in the championship. Here we go. And it's a wet race.
And we shouldn't have said anything about the dry race yesterday, should we?
Well, actually, it was dry on the approach to the dummy grid. So most of the guys came up onto the dummy grid with a dry setup with their more balder tyres, we should say.
And typical and then
it rained whilst on the dummy grid. So
the rain came pouring down without any warning.
I think you'll probably see a few cars have a lot of trouble in this race. Thomas, great start, gets with the dry line, able to get the jump on Daniel Reynolds.
Right, and I wonder if he's got a dry setup. But look at Reynolds down the inside, taking the lead, is he? He's got the lead.
Who's off there? That's
cars going everywhere.
Okay, well, like I said, a lot of these guys...
Brendan Woods. He's ground to a halt.
Here you go, he's on board with Stevie Butcher here, I think. Okay, he seems to have a reasonable start, but again, I think he's got a pretty dry setup. There's Lee Porter. What a great start he's had.
Oh, this is going
He's charged from a row back and almost gone to a row forward.
We're in for a bit of entertainment now with Butchie.
Okay, the vision would be a lot worse than what you're looking at here because...
cars going everywhere.
Matty Pearce was involved in there.
Look at Butchie down the inside after a few cars just stalled themselves.
Okay, so it looks like you've got
Daniel Reynolds
all over the back of...
Michael Kinsella.
Yep, Kinsella. And
that's right.
Ben Oldfield's right up there. He's right behind Timmy Brook.
And he took advantage of that melee right at that first corner.
Okay, Daniel Reynolds has already got a little bit of advantage. Oh, who's that? That's Lockie Higgins. There's a special story with Lockie Higgins. He didn't join us for the racing yesterday because he actually had a uni exam on. So he was able to get a special dispensation to start from the rear of the grid. He's really moved up to halfway through the field.
What a great start.
Whoa, Butcher.
On the track? No, off the track.
Well, I think he had to take a bit of a voice of action there. I don't think he was expecting Lee Porter to pull it up so suddenly.
Oh, well, maybe you also have to hit your brakes at the right time.
Look at Daniel Reynolds. He's already got a few car lengths there on Thomas, who's got a car length on Michael
Kinsella.
Look at that. Timmy Brooks took a short line through there.
He's racy. Tim Brooks very racy. Ben Oldfield in 5th place.
Michael Cluderay's a long way forward as well. I think he DNF'd last race.
Exceptional driving.
No, that was Lee Porter all the way up there. Lee Porter, what a cracking start.
Again, taking advantage, smart driving, not fast driving. That's what it was.
These are the couple of guys. This is
Darren Williams and Brendan Woods obviously bring up the rear after that lose at the end of the first corner.
I wonder if I'd suggest that Darren Williams probably got a little bit of help there. Here goes Timmy Brook up the inside of Kinsella here. This is
that's that pass.
Yeah, it's the third position here. Actually, Thomas is sort of going with Reynolds a little bit there.
There's that bit of scary driving side by side coming into the kink in the rain.
Yeah, it is pretty scary. Here you go. You got Stevie Butcher here with Simon Pace behind him, and Lee Porter's still up the front there. You got a couple of good steerers here in the wet. Matty Pearce is a long way back for someone who likes the car being drifted. Timmy Hamilton's a long way back. Right, there's Rodney French coming forward as well. He's doing pretty good in the wet.
They were all affected by that first corner incident, but let's see if they drive through the field.
Actually, on Rodney French, he actually does his best performances in the wet, really. He's actually quite a good steerer in the wet.
Rodney was exceptional at the hill climb we had at Ringwood only a few weeks ago. He really attacked the corners.
Timmy Hamilton had a look up the inside of Matty Pearce there, but thought the better of it.
Look at that spray. I wonder how blinding it is through some of those corners.
You'll find with the rain not coming down, you'll actually start to get a dry line, and it'll become fairly hard to make a pass because you'll have to go off the dry line onto the wet circuit to try and make a pass. Still very wet there, though, at the end of the final corner there.
Right. Car by car by car.
Benny Oldfield still doing pretty strong there in 5th place, with Lee Porter still strong in 6th. Butcher, whoa, very sideways.
Butcher, he's done well. He did make up some spots, but Tim Brook and Simon Pace having a go against each other.
Pretty taily in the back of that car there. I think he probably got on the gas a bit early there in the back of the car, wanted to step out from him, so he did well to catch it.
There was Michael Gale. Michael's pulled out a big lead over Bernie Cannon. Bernie Cannon, a few engine dramas yesterday, but he got going again. But
I think he's still got a bit of a knock going on the motor, and I think he's just decided to drive with it until it blows up. He needs to run and finish these next 2 races, and he'll win the championship on a countback if he finishes second to Michael Gale on both occasions.
But he's got to finish, doesn't he?
He does have to finish. Okay, Daniel Reynolds looking very comfortable there through turn 1. Thomas going sort of with him.
Look at Cluderay up the inside of Simon Pace.
Yeah, Simon. Oh, Butcher. Oh, Lucas.
Steve.
Was that a bit of help there? There was Matty Pearce looking very
a bit of help, or Matt Pearce has got his hands together and he's looking up to the skies.
Yeah, Matty Pearce did well not to get involved if there wasn't help. So Butcher just did a quick little pirouette and back going again.
That was good, Steve. It's been a while. We're expecting you to entertain us in this race, so well done. Thanks, mate.
Well, once again, all these cars are probably on pretty bald tyres, and in these wet conditions makes it very hard to drive. You can see the slow speed they're taking through at the Fishhook here.
Right, and as we know that Wakefield really good for older tyres with a bit less tread naturally. Not so great.
Not in the wet.
Not in the wet, that's right. In the dry. So these guys probably got their dry tyres on.
Yeah, well, particularly since it was dry when they went to the dummy grid. I know Michael Kinsella chucked a better set of tyres on because he waited very late to come to the dummy grid.
And there was Kinsella twitching and sliding on the exit of the last corner there. Ben Oldfield still got a good lead. Lee Porter, he's keeping a good gap in front of Tim Hamilton.
Yeah.
Tim's not really catching him. But Tim is pulling a little bit away from Matt Pearce.
Okay, there's Butcher a bit further back with Morgan Fremantle and Lockie Higgins still doing a good job.
Lockie Higgins, he's doing quite well. He's actually...
Kinsella's catching Thomas there.
Well, maybe a little bit. It'll come and go maybe during the race.
Whoa, Kinsella!
Michael!
He can take Thomas out. No, he's into the dirt.
That was very graceful.
Now, this has got championship implications. Oh, no, forward. Oh, geez, he did well. He's lucky he didn't get those rear wheels into the sand. He might not have got back out of that.
Lucky that the sand is not muddy and boggy. So.
But Thomas was only 8 points behind Kinsella in the championship battle for second. So we know first place is taken, but it's pretty. Here comes Kinsella back on the track, so he's fallen in behind Butcher.
Well,
so
right now, Michael will be a long way behind Dylan Thomas. So Michael's going to have to do some exceptional driving. Still quite a few laps to go. Is he going to do a Daniel Reynolds in the rain?
He very well could do. We know he's got some good set of tyres on because he did wait till very late in the race in the dummy grid procedures before he came out. So he was waiting for the rain to see what it was going to do, whether it was going to come.
Right, Daniel Reynolds in the Reds Vintage V-Dub Sabro 2, not pulling
Butcher wide.
Not pulling away.
Butcher losing it again.
Is that again?
Yeah,
yes, it is.
And that's Kinsella behind him getting through, right in front of him. Oh, jeez, he almost fell back on the track.
Steve, very graceful. Well done, mate.
I think he thinks he's at the ballet.
Do you think he's got a bit of an oversteer issue in that Stinger?
Yeah, the back end of the car does seem to want to come around pretty quick quite often, doesn't it?
Right, okay, back to the leader, Daniel Reynolds. Right, only about a 4-second lead ahead of Dylan Thomas in the red, white and blue CXC Stinger.
Well, he's got a bit of reprieve now from Timmy Brooks since Kinsella threw it down the outside of him at turn 1. Benny Oldfield's now in 4th place. Can he challenge for a podium?
Well, one of the secrets of doing well in the rain is not to spin off, because you gain places when you pass cars that are in the mud, don't you?
Exactly right. So, but Kinsella's still got a bit of time here, and he's a very good steerer.
And he's pulling away. He's actually obviously got a lot of speed, more speed ahead of Morgan Fremantle. I wonder if he's gaining on the cars in front of him.
Yeah, well, Darren Williams is starting to move forward a little bit after having his spin at the start of the race. So he's now ahead of quite a few of these guys at the back here. Who's that? Gary Hook going to the pits.
That was Gary Hook.
That's unlike Gary Hook to have a drama in a race this year, isn't it?
Maybe he wasn't used to doing all these laps. He might have engineered a problem into his Jason.
Well, it's still running, so he's coming in on his own merit. He's not pulled over out there.
It looks clean too.
Like big gap here pretty early in this race here. Obviously the wet's separating these guys out quite a lot. So Thomas will probably be looking at his mirror going, beauty, with Kinsella having an off. I've now got some chance to make some points back up and potentially go for second in the series.
Oh, don't speak too soon to yourself, Dylan.
Oh.
Michael Kinsella, when he's got the red mist on, who knows where he could finish.
Hey, Timmy Hamilton's got ahead of Lee Porter there. Lee Porter was up the front there for a big period, but obviously with a dry line coming out, it doesn't look like much of a dry line there, does it?
Okay. And there's Butcher. He actually kept it on the track around this corner.
Yeah, about time. He's, but it does say a lot if, a 4-time state champion, he's looping it on a regular basis. There's the conditions are not that favourable.
Well, don't forget it's his first drive in the ex-Nathan Brumby Stinger here. So
yeah, and he was tuning the car still. So
all right, so there we go.
And there it is. It's got the for sale sign on the side. So
gee, that was quick riding. He doesn't like that car.
Once he gets the car sorted out, it'll be a pretty good car. It's got a V-Dub performance motor in it, brand new front end on it. So we'll give it a little plug. Right, a few of these cars will be for sale for the end of the year, with the Timmy Brook car that's running in third for sale as well.
That's in picture right there, the orange LE 100, driven by some great drivers in the past.
Yeah. What other cars are coming up for
Tim
sale?
Hamilton.
The Jabiru, just in the background here, the yellow one there.
It goes right through there.
That's coming up for sale. In fact, that's got a pretty good price tag on it from what I've heard.
The yellow Jabiru, very trusty drive for Michael Cludero for quite a few years now.
In fact, Morgan Fremantle in that car going through there, the Aztec, that's for sale as well.
That's for sale, yes.
He's got a new car. I think Michael Cludero's looking at a new car. car too.
That's right. There is a rumour about what Morgan's driving, but he's not letting anyone know.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty poorly kept secret there. It might be some sort of really fresh Jacer.
Probably one that's only been raced once, maybe. Okay.
Yeah, there's Bernie Cannon. So again, still just circulating. So that engine gremlin's not let go of itself just yet. So he's doing a good job to do what he needs to do just to wrap up the 1200 series. Daniel Reynolds, mate, look how stable that car is. Wet, dry, doesn't matter.
That's right, right on the line, using the whole track. Dylan similarly doing the same thing.
Yep. Timmy Brook also very good steer in the wet. Actually, Timmy Brook, he has some of his best races
Look at
in the
Ben
wet.
Oldfield, he's catching Tim.
See a bit of attitude on the back of the car there, so he's trying.
Now I know that car's not set up for the dry, let alone the wet, and it's all over the.
Oh, red
what
flag.
Are we speaking too soon?
Is that a red? Oh no, was that a red light?
No, that was a spin. That was a spin by Ben Oldfield.
Was it?
Yeah, coming over across the top of the track. That's
that
what that was.
All over it.
So yes, that's Michael's gained on Ben Oldfield.
Okay, so there's a big. So Ben Oldfield will fall back.
So he's lost it, and quite a few cars have passed Ben. Ben, mate, we know you can drive. Just keep it there, and you'll finish up higher, won't you?
Yeah. As you said earlier on, you know the trick in wet races is to keep it on the circuit, and take advantage of the misfortunes of others.
Right,
it does look still quite wet here. Daniel's still taking pretty much a wet line around that corner, so that would probably give you an indication that it's not dry enough around that corner yet.
Very, very wide line all the way around there. You don't see that very often, do you?
Thomas was a bit tighter into the apex, and what's Timmy doing? It's a bit hard to see. The camera just pulled away. So, okay.
Mate, got to say that throughout the year, the Formula V drivers have had only 2 dry races out of 11 now, so they've had everything thrown at them. Really hard work, and we've had, I don't know, 1 red flag all year, and hardly any spins, hardly any safety cars. It's been an exceptional driving by the entire Formula V fraternity for the whole year.
Yeah, okay, so here comes Thomas in his got his new helmet on there.
I was about to say, that was a good view of that yellow flash on the top of his head.
Good helmet to have a look at, done by one of our Formula V South Australia members, Asher Johnson. Actually, he's also been a Formula V New South Wales member as well, actually.
Many years.
So
right.
he does some great jobs at a great price. So rather than doing the traditional spray paint job, he does a bit of a sticker kit, and they come out pretty snazzy. You should go have a look at a few of these helmets out there. Okay, that was Cluderay going up the inside. Where's Ben Oldfield? He was with...
Well, Michael's pulled away from Ben a little bit now, and he's now he's got his head down, trying to catch up with Michael Cluderay, Lee Porter and Matt Pearce.
Cluderay's actually moving forward at quite a good rate of knots in this race here. He started pretty much from the back of the grid from DNF in race 1. So obviously that Jabiru quite well suited to the wet here by the look of things.
Daniel Reynolds just extending that lead significantly, lap by lap ahead of Dylan, and Dylan's no slouch, so...
Okay, and Timmy Brooks also pretty good in the wet himself here, and Timmy Hamilton's not that far off the pace here either. So
no, Tim actually, he's got his car together in the wet.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, and here's Matty Pearce, and next on the agenda for Michael Cluderay is Matty Pearce, and if you can pass Matty Pearce in the wet, you're doing a bloody good job.
Right, Michael Kinsella right on the tail of Lee Porter in the yellow Jacer. Ben Oldfield, he's after his spin, now back in about 10th place.
Followed by Simon Pace, Morgan Freeman, Darren Williams catching back up with Lockie Higgins there, and multiple spinner Butcher here, rounding up. Oh, he's not at the tail end of the Charlie, but he's towards the back end anyway.
I wonder where Butcher would have been if he hadn't spun. He could have been 10 seconds in front of Daniel Reynolds.
Look, he's on the wet line there. He's not looking after the dry line there. So he's obviously still trying, Daniel.
Well, when would Daniel not try? Even
Thomas took a more traditional, followed the dry line through there, and so does this group here looking at the early entry.
Michael Kinsella got past Lee Porter in the yellow Jacer.
Yeah, you'd see Michael Cluderay. Oh, who's that? That's Ben Oldfield again.
Ben Oldfield again. Yeah, well, that incredibly stiff rear end taking its toll.
Yeah. That's a shame. He was having a great run there in 5th place for a while. So.
You could see the back of that car
4th place for a while.
Bounce as he went back on the track.
Cluderay inside of Matty Pearce.
With Michael Kinsella right
on. Oh, Cluderay, he's done himself a decent justice.
Locked up the fronts, understeered straight off the track.
He looked at the inside of Matty Pearce going into the fishhook there, but what you quite often find is there's probably a dry line, and once he's put his wheels into the wet there, he's not been able to wash the speed off he needed to.
I've got to keep an eye out on Michael Kinsella. He's made up quite a few places, and I don't think he's too far behind Dylan Thomas now.
Yeah, which is a shame for Dylan. I know Dylan needs to get the points off Kinsella to get the points he needs. He's only 6 points behind Kinsella for second.
There's 3rd place Tim Brook, 4th place Tim Hamilton, 5th place Matt Pearce in the orange Jacer coming onto the straight now. Michael Kinsella in 6th place after that incredible lose at the end of the main straight earlier on.
Fantastic recovery job because he spent a bit of time in the sand as well. the field is spreading a little bit in the wet with these different conditions, and obviously a few